Welcome back to Paul's Tech News. The air is electric and people everywhere are experiencing that tingling sensation that starts in your extremities and works its way into our very loins as we prepare ourselves for the coming week. The fall finale, the autumnal apogee, if you will, when America welcomes the world to celebrate with us by gorging ourselves first upon the food of our people, the turkey, the stuffing, the canned cranberry sauce and whatnot, and then upon the slightly more digestible cuisine of capitalism, with Black Friday ads already in full swing. Even our infelicitous foreign friends who do not celebrate these holy harvest traditions can look forward to watching the spectacle from the sidelines, so lube up those turkey basters and don't forget the apple pie, or your weekly dose of tech news.
Excellent!
This video is proudly sponsored by Micro Center. If you're looking for awesome tech deals, make your way down to one of the 25 Micro Center retail stores here in the US to avail yourself of their consistently competitive prices, killer combo deals, and their excellent selection of PC hardware, 3D printers, and more. Micro Center's website features their custom PC builder, which allows you to spec out your rig while verifying compatibility at the same time. Then you can build it yourself or have the pros at Micro Center assemble it for you. Approved submissions to their PC Build Showcase earn an in-store coupon. There's a 3D printer promo going on right now, and a new store is opening in Charlotte, North Carolina in early 2024, so click the sponsor link in the description for more. Before we dive in, I wish to give you formal notice that there will be no tech news next week, as Joe usually requires 3 to 4 days to resuscitate after consuming his Thanksgiving feast. But I will be doing a Black Friday deals video, so stay tuned for that, and tech news will be back December 3rd. And speaking of things coming back, how about AMD's AM4 socket? The perennial platform apparently just refuses to go end of life, and AMD could launch 2 new CPUs for it in 2024 if Twitter leaker who accurately leaked the 5600X3D Chili Dog is to be believed. The new CPUs would be the 8-core Ryzen 7 5700X3D and the 6-core Ryzen 5 5500X3D, both with 96 megabytes of L3 cache, which has proven to provide a nice boost for gaming performance. This would create an X3D CPU lineup on the AM4 platform with 4 models available, combined with the existing 5800X3D and the Micro Center exclusive 5600X3D. It's likely that the new CPUs would not support overclocking, and their boost clock speeds per Chili Dog are 4.1 and 4.0 gigahertz. 400 and 300 megahertz slower than the existing X3D processors. For the AM4 platform that debuted in 2016 with promised support through 2020 though, it's wild to think that new CPUs might still be launching for it in 2024. Pricing and a launch date are still big questions, but providing more budget-oriented builders with additional buying options, especially if they are priced aggressively, seems like a good idea to me. These are also likely assembled with leftover CPU dies that couldn't cut it as 5800X3Ds, which is either an eco-friendly way for AMD to make use of silicon that would otherwise have been headed to the scrap heap, or yet another example of a large corporation maximizing their profits. Or, maybe both. Perhaps the last big launch planned for this year is Threadripper 7000, which has high-end desktop and workstation CPU stacks going up for sale on Tuesday, priced between $1,500 and $10,000, maybe even with some reviews happening sometime in that same time frame, but what would I know about that? Nothing, of course. I have told you nothing. AMD is the one who broke their own embargo on Wednesday, which I guess they're allowed to do, by sharing these new world record hardware bot entries from US overclocker Samsung, who used the flagship $10,000 Ryzen Threadripper Pro 7995WX CPU with 96 Zen 4 cores and a 5.15 GHz boost clock to set several new records. All 96 cores were OC'd to 4.8 GHz, using an air cooler no less, the Ice Giant ProSiphon Elite, which is impressive given that the system was pulling just shy of 1,000 watts, allowing Samsung to hit #1 scores in Cinebench R23, R20, and R15. But that was Wednesday, and Samsung's hardware bot profile page indicates that he has now moved on to water cooling with the Heatkiller 4 CPU block, and as of Thursday he juiced the OC to 4,966.1 MHz across all cores, so close to 5 GHz, pushing that Cinebench R23 score to 167,309, about a 7,000 point improvement. And they haven't even broken out the LN2 yet. Well done, Samson, and I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more Threadripper 7K benchmarks this week. Something I wasn't expecting to see this week was this news. Apple playing the good guy role this week and publicly promising to add RCS messaging support to iPhones in 2024. RCS stands for Rich Communication Services and is a messaging standard that Apple has obstinately refused to support until this week, causing messages between Android and iPhone devices to default to the SMS or MMS standard, resulting in potato-quality video and photo sharing. RCS support should fix this, while also allowing texting features like read receipts, typing indicators, and location sharing. The update is expected later next year per Apple, but this will not replace iMessage or allow it to be installed on other platforms like Android. So while the functional side of things will be much improved, especially if you have a group text with your family using mixed devices, for example, the green bubble versus blue bubble war will likely rage on, providing young people with an arbitrary reason to hate other young people, as older people continue to not care. One lingering question is if Apple's chosen version of RCS Universal Profile, will be getting any updates in the interim, because support for end-to-end encryption is high up on the list of functions that people would like to have, and it would be possible to implement if the companies involved continue to play nice and work together, even if they're forced to, and that could be the way it goes, since many have seen the EU's recent investigations into Apple as the impetus for them making this week's announcement. The EU's legislative involvement worked when they wanted Apple to switch to USB-C, so it's reasonable to assume that Apple saw the writing on the wall and decided that this time they'd rather make the decision themselves and earn the bonus PR points. Speaking of bonus points, I couldn't help but notice you're going commando today. Good thing I brought an extra pair of tech briefs. NVIDIA is once again offering a free performance upgrade to RTX 30 and 40 series GPU users, but it's not for gaming, it's for AI, which is growing in popularity for home users. Starting Tuesday, NVIDIA's driver suite will provide access to the TensorRT large language model, if you're using Windows 11 at least, and if your GPU has at least 8 GB of VRAM. The upshot being up to 5 times faster AI inferencing when running popular models such as Stable Diffusion and Llama 2. Just remember to use AI responsibly. Promise you won't bring about the singularity or anything. That's NVIDIA's job. Speaking of 40 series GPUs, the flagship RTX 4090 is now banned for export to China, as discussed in recent tech newses. So what happens now? You guessed it. Price gouging, as represented by the ASUS RTX 4090 ROG Matrix, potentially one of the best 4090s out there, which you can buy in China, but it'll cost you 59,999 RMB, the equivalent of $8,230 US, more than double its already ridiculous $3,200 MSRP stateside, and roughly 5 times more expensive than a regular-ass $1,600 MSRP 4090. But who wants a regular-ass 4090 anyway? Lots of people, actually, quite a few. Here's a heads up PSA for anyone who likes to hoard Google accounts. Big G says it is tired of inactive accounts taking up precious server space, and so the culling process will begin on December 1st. Emails, photos, calendar entries, and other drive data will be vanished from existence if action is not taken, but to be fair, they are only targeting accounts that have been dormant for 2 years or more. Google has been sending notifications to the inactive accounts, as well as their recovery emails. So if you think you might have an old account floating around, check your email. The SanDisk Extreme Pro SSD kerfuffle of 2023 continued this week when data recovery company Atingo told FutureZone that they're pretty sure it's a hardware defect that has caused drives to fail at rates that are well above industry averages. Parent company WD has been criticized for their response to consumer complaints, which have escalated since multiple reporters for tech media outlets started to experience data losses when using the external SSDs earlier this year. Atingo has been doing data recovery for 25 years, and they say these drives come in weakly, with weak connections due to mismatched components and bubble-prone soldering material claimed as the cause of the failures. SanDisk, meanwhile, issued a statement where they were like, "Nuh-uh," and promptly put the drives on fire sale for Black Friday. I am a regular user of HWINFO, a free app for monitoring your PC's hardware sensors, and so I was happy to read this article from Igor's lab about the founder and developer of the software, Martin Malik, who has been keeping it updated since its debut in 1995. We don't always associate names and faces with the software we use, so it was good to read up on the creator of HWINFO, and I wholeheartedly agree with Igor's closing words. HWINFO's accuracy, reliability, and regular updates make it an indispensable tool for PC enthusiasts and professionals alike. Thanks, Martin. Cheers. Finally, we close with yet another unique application for a gaming graphics card, deciphering the text from the ancient Roman Herculaneum scrolls, which are heavily charred and look more like Snoop Dogg's last blunt than a historical artifact. There are established rewards for deciphering these scrolls though, called the Vesuvius Challenge, which is what Luke Ferrator, a computer science undergrad at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, set out to claim. And they did it by training an AI model on a GTX 1070 graphics card to detect crackle patterns on the scroll where ink used to be. And the deciphered word is purple, or purple dye, or cloths of purple, which changes everything we know about ancient Roman history, and this also unlocks the next stage in the Vesuvius Challenge, deciphering a 144-character passage from this scroll for a $700,000 prize. I think you just need like a RTX 4090 for that. And you know, Snoop is probably looking at this picture thinking, man, I picked a bad week to stop smoking. Stay strong, Snoop. And I hope you will all stay strong as well, since there's no tech news next week. But yes, there will be other videos. So there you have it, guys, tech news for this week. And if you liked it, click that like button or leave me a comment down below. While you're down there, all the articles I talked about today are linked in the video's description if you're interested. And you can also check out my store at paulshardware.net for high quality merchandise, t-shirts, hoodies, beer sets, and more. Subscribing to my channel is always a good call too. Thanks again, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you in the next video.